You are now affectionately known as the Childcare Whisperer. What is something that you're seeing right now when you go into childcare centers?
Children are out of control. Parenting nowadays is just different. They don't respect adults anymore. It's because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, I'm not going to talk hard to you because that's going to hurt your feelings. So will life.
Has it been hard as a gay man? People did not want you even educating their children.
It's African American people that give me the hardest time. It's black people that want the biggest discount. It's black people that want all, I'm serious. What I refuse to do is live in bondage just to set you free. I'm not gonna do that. You will blow the budget on a party, but you won't blow the budget on their education.
Oof.
People gotta start looking at their children as investments. If you put them in the right school, children at the age of 2 are going to art class, STEM class. Now, when they go to school, they have an idea. It's an investment.
There are plenty of people who have many reservations about putting their child in an environment. We've seen all kinds of things. What would you say to ease a parent's mind and they are in the market for a child care provider? What are some things that they need to be looking for? What is a healthy price? The mic is on.
Okay.
I did not expect this to go here, did y'all?
But that's the truth.
But it is. Welcome to Vault Empowers Talks, where we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential change makers. I'm your host, Brandi Harvey. But before I introduce my guest for today, I need you to go ahead and do me a favor. I need you to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss your daily dose of inspiration and motivation. But without further ado, honey, this man over here, he dressed down, y'all. He is ready. Tyheim Clark is affectionately known as the Childcare Whisperer. As the president and CEO of the Empowerment Agency, Tyheim's goal is to empower educators, directors, and parents to exceed the standard through the power of God, knowledge, and experience. With professional experience spanning over 2 decades, Tyheim has served as a pre-K teacher, assistant center director, director of curriculum, and a center director. But it was during the pandemic that God gave him a vision and the resources to birth the Empowerment Agency. His viral videos have garnered millions of views worldwide and has landed him on the Kelly Clarkson Show. Tyheim believes that faith, passion, and education is the key to achieving all of your goals. Vault Empowers Talks welcome educator, child advocate, and motivational speaker, Tyheim Clark, to the show.
Well, now if she gonna read this.
Baby, hey, listen, come on, Rhinestones.
Listen, if you gonna read.
Listen, I'm sitting here with an educator. I got a show I can read, okay? Tyheim, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, I was so excited for you to come.
Why?
Because I'm a former educator. I taught in the Los Angeles school district. And when I saw your videos, I was like, we need him. We need him to come sit in the seat, because I think you have such a great way of not just reaching down and getting on the level of children, but you really have this fantastic way of giving educators like the permission to step up and show up as better leaders in the classroom.
You know, I thank you for saying that. And I never heard someone tell me why they actually brung me in. And to hear that, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And especially coming from a former educator.
I mean, you out here doing the Lord's work. Come on, anybody who got to go sit with people's offsprings, listen, on a daily basis, you out here doing the Lord's work.
I agree.
I mean, but you started off as an educator. You were a young little boy growing up in South Carolina, and your mom had a child care center in you all's garage. Yeah.
Yep, she converted our 2-car garage into a child care center. She built a house. She was with her husband at the time, and that's what she decided to do. And I would get up on the weekends and rearrange the daycare, and that was the first service that I started when I started the business.
I mean, 11 years old, you're already in the child care business. Your passion was sparked. I mean, but it led you on this journey. You went to college, you got an early childhood education degree, and you started working with children. But something changed along the way. The pandemic hit, and that changed everybody. It was the Great Reset.
It was a great reset, but when it hit, I think that it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. What did it do for you?
It changed my life.
Yeah.
The point where I thought I was at my lowest ended up being the point that I needed to be to reach my highest.
Yeah. Why did you think you were at your lowest?
because I was in a space that I had never been in before. I didn't have a job, bills were coming, and at that time I had a car from a buy here, pay here. So when I told them that I
Wait,
couldn't,
a car from a buy here, pay here?
yeah.
What does that mean?
That means that means you take
I'm
$500.
telling on myself.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly. That means you take the $500, okay, and you get you a car that can get you to A and B and C sometimes. Okay?
C to D if you put gas in it and pray.
No, if you pray, exactly, if you pray. That's what I did. Literally, when I started the business, I was driving around in that car with no air or anything. I had the $500, put it down, and I just did it. I worked it. I worked the dream.
Wow. Now, is this when you moved to Atlanta? Because at one point you moved to Atlanta and you were an educator here in Atlanta.
When I first moved here in Atlanta, I was living with my birth mother. She was staying here. That's why I moved here.
Because you were helping her because she had some health challenges. Yes. And you said she was in a very challenging marriage as well, right?
Yeah. So the marriage was when the garage was converted. That was the challenging marriage. When I moved here, she was with her boyfriend at the time, and she was working in childcare, and she fell and got hurt at work. So she needed help getting back and forth to her doctor's appointment. So I moved. I stopped college. I was online to pledge for Alpha, and I stopped all of that and moved to Atlanta to help her get back and forth to her doctor's appointment.
Wow. And so here you are, you're helping your mom, and you all really didn't have the greatest relationship. So how was that for you?
The helping her,
Yeah.
even though we didn't have a good relationship, that speaks to my heart, Brandi. I'm the person where no matter what you do to me, I'm going to still do what I know is right. So that's what that was, until I get tired.
So did you get tired?
I did.
Yeah. How's your relationship with your mother?
We don't speak.
Yeah. Is that just because is she like okay with that? Are you okay with that? Or that's just the peace that you've made with that?
I'm okay with it because she's okay with it. I've made several attempts. I won't make any more.
Yeah.
So I'm at peace with it because at this point in my life, I have to have peace around me.
Yeah.
So if it or whatever doesn't bring peace around me, it has to go.
Yeah. I mean, you said this and you say this in numerous videos that when you talk to your educators that there's been so many moments that as an educator, when you stepped across that threshold, that you left all those problems. So whether it was your mother, whether it was homelessness, whether it was all the financial trouble that you were going through, you leave that at the door. And when you walk into that classroom, you've crossed into your happy place.
And I made a commitment. That's one thing that I take serious. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. That's even when I'm presenting. I could be sick. I've presented and literally the day before had surgery, but I made a commitment. I said I was going to do it, so I do it, and I do it to the best of my ability until once again I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but you are now affectionately known as the Childcare Whisperer. So you got to tell me how the name came about. After you walked into your happy place across the threshold, how did you become and morph into the Childcare Whisperer?
That wasn't the original name of the business or my brand name in the beginning. In the beginning, when I lied on the floor during the pandemic and then tried to kill myself, I saw in the dream, I'm the director, but help. So that was the original name of the business. I'm the director, but help.
I'm the director, but help. But help.
And so I did that, but then I got a business coach, and he was like, "Are you married to that name?" I was like, "That's what I saw in the dream. I'm not gonna go away from what I saw in the dream now." But then I was talking to my pops, my mom's husband, and he was like, "What about the Childcare Whisperer?" I said, "Now that does the work for itself. I actually like that."
Yeah.
And that's when I rebranded to the Childcare Whisperer.
The Childcare Whisperer, because you have this way of really delving into the mind of the educator and really, but then also taking the child's perspective, because you walk into this classroom and you get right on your knees and you start eye level with these children. So I want you to talk about being the Childcare Whisperer and what that really comes with.
On what level?
You start on the level you want to start on. What is that?
Being the Childcare Whisperer comes with a lot. You know, I think that when you are at a certain point, like you pray for a certain life, you pray for certain things, but you don't think about what all you're going to lose. And so being the Childcare Whisperer comes with a lot. But for me, when I walk into the classroom and I'm working with the children, I see me. I don't see the child. I see me. So when I see me, I'm going to give me the love that I want. I'm going to give me the attention that I want.
Yeah.
And I think when teachers start to see them, I get it. You don't get the right pay. I've been there, homelessness. I get it. They don't do what they're supposed to do. I get it. But at the end of the day, we made a commitment to take care of these children. So we got to honor the commitment.
Yeah, honor the commitment. So as an educator, what is something that you're seeing right now that's like a common thread across the board when you go into childcare centers and you're dealing with children and educators? What's the common thread you're seeing?
The educators are tired. They really want, and a lot of them have the passion. Like they really want to be educators, but the children are out of control. Parenting nowadays is just different. Things that you needed to instill in children so that they can survive in the world, they don't do it nowadays. It's, I'm going to correct what my mama did. My mama did me like this, so I'm not going to do it. Missing the fundamentals that children need to survive in the world.
Okay, what are those fundamentals that you see?
They don't respect adults anymore. Literally to this day, if I miss and say a bad word in front of an adult, I'm going to apologize. Children today do it as if it's just normal language. Things that children should not be doing at age. We talk about age-appropriate things when it comes down to them learning, but there are also age-appropriate things that they should be doing in the normal life as well. And these things, because of social media, parents' ages changes. They now have become a rite of passage when there are certain things you shouldn't be doing until you have reached a certain age.
Yeah.
If you can't explain why you're doing it or saying it, you shouldn't be doing it or saying it.
So you typically work with like 0 to 5, 0 to 6, typically, right? And so we know the studies have proven that 0 to 5, 0 to 6 are the most impressionable, most important years of a child's life as far as development. And so when you say that they're learning things that they shouldn't be learning, or they're being exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to, what are some of those things that you're seeing?
So one thing that is really, really on the rise now is children they're acting out. So they'll throw things. They just have temper tantrums. They do all of these things. And I want you to watch in a normal day, watch at the airport, watch in the store, what happens when the children does that on a normal day. Parents literally stand like, oh my God, come on, like this will do it. I was in Miami and
Not my sister, Carly.
I was in Miami and I'm walking by the road and the child is literally just throwing a fit. And the mom is just like, oh, no, come on, I'm going to say it again.
Is that because they're attached to technology? You know, like the iPads and the tablets and all the things?
It's because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, I'm not going to talk hard to you because that's going to hurt your feelings. So will life. And in that moment, he or she is doing something that is not right. So you have to correct it.
Yeah.
Period. Hurt their feelings. Then they'll know not to do it again.
So how do you teach correction when you go into facilities? How are you teaching educators how to correct properly?
I'm going to stick with that same situation where the little man was screaming.
Yeah.
I would have never exhausted all of the energy trying to get him to stop. You want to act crazy? Have it.
You would just walk away.
I'm going to walk away.
That's what my mom used to do to us. My mom, listen, she was the original Childcare Whisperer. Okay, listen, Marsha.
But and literally when this post, people are going to put in the comments, that's not right. They're wrong. Because literally right now, I have a person on my team and she's becoming a certified ABA therapist. They literally, these are people that have a diagnosis that they're either on the spectrum or something.
So neurodivergent.
Yes.
Okay.
They will literally, she is literally trained to let them have that moment, close the door. Once they settle down, go in and stand on your demand again. That's what she is trained to do. However, parents with no training will say, no, oh my God, you need to sit there and just figure it out. He's not right. He's emotional. Okay. You start crying right now, we're going to look at you like you're crazy until you tell us, what's wrong with you?
Stand on your demand. That's one of the first things you teach.
Stand on your demand.
Stand on your demand.
Don't give into the temper tantrum. It's a fire. They're going to keep giving it to you. It's going to get worse. And if a parent really evaluates that, or a teacher, that's what happens. When you're there trying to do it, they start kicking. They start screaming. They start doing all these things. And you get even more upset because they're not listening to you in that moment. Let them have it. And then when you decide that you're calm and you want my attention now we're going to talk about what you just did. We're not going to move forward.
Now, when I watch a lot of your videos, very diverse environments that you walk into. A lot of predominantly white environments that you walk into. And you stated that, when you first started, that you really felt the effects of being a male in the space of education. And so how is it you are a proud LGBTQ plus IA, all the elemental P.
It's a lot of letters.
You got a lot of letters, right? You're very proud. You don't shy away from that conversation. So how are people being very receptive to you? Because they seem like they are waiting for you with open arms to come through the door. The mic is on.
Okay.
It's on.
Oh, Lord. They are waiting for me. Yeah, they love me. And I love that. I love people that accept and love me for me.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, that was very short and sweet and politically correct.
What did you want me to say? What did you want me to say about the clientele and how when I walk into that room?
Because I know that you said that before that it was a struggle because people were not kind to you, and you found that out when you came into that space.
To be honest with you, it's African American people that give me the hardest time.
I was getting to that's what we were trying to get to.
I know that's what you was getting to, and I wanted you to open up the door, but it is.
I'm over here trying to be an empowerment agency. I'm the interview whisperer. I just need you to walk on in. Come on, the mic is
Well,
hot.
I'm gonna come on in then. It's black people that give me the hardest time. It's black people that want the biggest discounts. It's black people that want all. I'm serious, and I think that because I know a lot of people when they see my page, I know they say it, but ask them, well, why didn't you book?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing there that says you can't book.
Yeah.
Why didn't you book? You're not going to book because when you see me, because I am proudly gay or because I am black, you automatically are going to start saying, but bruh, or my friend, I run a business.
Yeah.
This is a business.
Yeah. And has it been hard as a gay man because I know you said before in some of your interviews that people did not want you even educating their children in the classroom.
It is hard. And that's one of the things that comes with being the Childcare Whisperer. Like, even if you look at the comments, it's, oh, he wears the boots. Well, they don't even pay attention to the fact that when I go into the classroom, I never wear the boots. I have on Jordans or something when I go into the actual classroom. I wear this when I am training, if I'm working with adults. So a lot of it comes with that because it is, oh, you're pushing this on children. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
You sit and you let them have a tablet all day long and walk away, don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
They watch what you do all day long and you could care less about what they do.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I teach them about being a child, period. Whatever the choice you decide today, that's your business. You don't, just because I dress a certain way or I am what I am, doesn't mean that because everybody that comes in my face, I'm going to push that on them.
Yeah.
And that's just what society has put on the LGBTQ plus community. And that's not true. It's no different than just because you're a black woman, that don't mean everybody you meet, you're going to say, oh, I'm a black woman, you need to be black too. No.
It's very obvious.
Yeah, right. But this is just me. And for so long, that's why my birth mother and I don't speak. For so long, I suppressed who I was to make everybody else happy.
Wow.
And what I refuse to do is live in bondage just to set you free. I'm not going to do that.
I refuse to live in bondage just to set you free.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I mean that for everybody.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
If they don't, anybody that is supposed to love you will love you regardless.
Yeah.
And that's why she's my mom.
Yeah.
Because my birth mother looks at my flaws like everybody else. This is my happy space. This is my peace space. I'm not going to live in bondage just to set you free. I'm not going to do that.
And I think that's got to be so freeing to go into a space with children when we're teaching them how to be free and how to assert themselves in situations, how to love other people, how to accept differences, all the challenges that come with life. Yeah. And so you're already bringing that to the table. That's
what my new children's book is about.
Okay, yes.
It's about being fearfully and wonderfully made. And each child that comes into the classroom, they have something that the teacher has to teach the children about. And that's my whole thing with my mission as a childcare whisperer. You have to teach children how to survive in the world. They're not just going to see black people all the time. They're not just going to see white people all the time. They're not just going to see Asian. They need to be able to survive, respect, and show up in the world as good citizens. No matter who you are, I'm going to respect you just because you're a human. Yeah. Period. I don't even see your color. I don't see your hair. I see that you are human. Yeah. And that's how it is.
See that you are human. When you go into classrooms now in a climate that we live in the United States, you know, how are you helping teachers accept the differences? I get we want to teach children to be better citizens, but then how are you equipping educators to be better humans?
You want to know what's so funny? You talked about my clientele, and we talked about the demographics, but I also want to speak to the heart of my clientele. When I go to centers, that's not something I have to worry about. They either have the pride flag up, or they're talking about Jesus, or we were in somewhere, and and one of the people in the audience she was going through transition. So I don't have that problem, because when they say that they accept anybody, my clients really accept anybody. They have gay people on their team. They have everybody on their team, and that's why they bring me in, to empower these people, to show them that, hey, we all love you, you're doing a great job, let's go to higher heights. So I don't have to worry about that, about my clients. The people that have a problem with what you see, they don't book.
Yeah, they don't book. You, in one of your videos, you talked about you were doing a training with educators, and you were talking about professionalism and how important it is in the classroom. We about to go there, y'all. Professionalism in the classroom. And you said that as a center director, sometimes you would walk past classrooms and you would get a blessing that you didn't really want. And so I want you to talk about professionalism when we talk about educators, because we live in this space where everybody just come as you are, everybody just showing up dressed in bonnets and bedclothes out the house and all the things, right? How do you teach educators, you know, to be comfortable, but also be very professional?
First, I start by not making it about the job. I think that's where a lot of companies go wrong. You're going to do this because this is the uniform. I want to know, so when you go to how do you feel about yourself? Oh, I think I'm this, that, and third. So why did you put that on?
Listen.
There's no way you feel great about yourself and you walk out the house looking like that. There's no way.
You know, Tyheim, I really, really want you to talk about this, because I think we have become so laxed in our culture as like how we show up in spaces. And it's like, oh, I'm very comfortable. I'm dressed down. I don't want... But there was something to be said. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and I went to Caledonia Elementary School. I mean, blue ribbon school, excellence. Black teachers, principals, Stella Munson, dressed down every day. I saw these women and these men dressed and looking professional, and it made me want to be them, you know? And that's what made me want to become a teacher, because they were aspirational. They had pride in their appearance and how they showed up.
Yes.
And
I tell people all the time, when you look good, you feel good, you do good.
come on, Dion.
Like, that's just that. Like, you have to take pride in how you look.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm going to the mailbox. I'm gonna look good.
Yeah.
Because it's a representation of me.
Yeah.
And I choose to represent myself in the highest standard possible.
Do you get some pushback? Because of course you're working in childcare centers where people want to be comfortable. They're coming in sweats. They got to get down on the floor with kids during playtime and all these different things. Are you getting pushback?
No, because it's about the delivery. You can be comfortable. And my favorite line is, when I pull up to Chick-fil-A, they're standing outside frying French fries and button-ups and slacks. Why can't you come to an air-conditioned building, go in a classroom, and have on the right attire?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
It's all about self-respect.
Yeah.
You have to show up despite how you feel. And a lot of people start showing up or start not caring how they dress because they are not happy at work. I don't care what I put on, because I don't want to be there anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but what does that say about your character?
Yeah. I told you before we got started, when I was teaching and you were like, well, how did you dress when you were in class? I wore heels every day. I wore dresses. I was always dressed professionally because I knew that I was a representation. And I was 24 years old at the time, but I knew that I'm the first point of contact at 7:15 in the morning. Now, why I'm standing up here looking like boo-boo, the fool, okay? I need to be coming up here like, I want you to come in here and feel like, okay, well, she actually gave a damn about how she showed up today. Let me perk up.
When I worked at childcare centers, I never had to wear a uniform. Even when I worked for my mom, I never wore a uniform. I was the only teacher They did not wear a uniform. And not because I was being insubordinate, because I carried myself so well that a uniform was not needed.
Yeah.
So, and it was a I always wanted to be a teacher. So I always showed up as a teacher. I was just like you.
Yeah.
I grew up in South Carolina, the country.
Yeah.
So, they literally, my English teacher said, baby, I was called to do this. I'm doing this till I go to the Lord call me home. And she's still teaching to this day.
Wow.
So I grew up around people that took pride, like yourself, and how they showed up.
Yeah.
I grew up with women who were not going anywhere with a bonnet on or without a bra. That's what I grew up around.
The braziers. Y'all need on some good underclothes.
And a slip or something.
Like my grandmama.
And I'm not saying you got to do all that, but I just grew up around people who cared about how they look.
Yeah. And we have to get back to that because I think that would change the trajectory of our children, right? Because then they get to see somebody who cares. Not just about them, but like, man, they care about themselves, how they show up in the world.
I was sitting at a Chinese restaurant broke, and because I was dressed nicely, the lady got up and said, oh my God, are you from Italy? Because this is how the men in Italy dress. Like, they're always well put together. And I was broke during that time and everything. But it was just simply because of how I carried myself.
Yeah.
You can carry yourself in a way that'll open up a door for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But nobody want to open up a door for you. You look like.
But who done it and why? Listen, who done it and why? I think I feel like that was such a great aspect to some of the trainings that I've seen you do, because I think we have to understand that image is still very much important, no matter what profession we're in, whether we're sitting here as content creators and podcasters and all the things, or whether we're teachers in the classroom, right?
The image is everything.
Yeah, it makes a difference. So when you think about young people now in the state of where we are in our educational system, possibly even like, no more Department of Education and all these things, right? What are you really giving teachers the permission to do in this season? What are you really helping them? How are you helping them really push the needle and move the needle in their classrooms?
First, I want them to own it, right? You have to, one thing that I want educators to know is that you can't try to get help, but then you aren't crossing your T's and dotting your I's. What are you saying, Mr. Ty? When I step into a classroom, and I'm speaking in the world of childcare, because that's my lane. When I step into a classroom, you can't want me to go to bat for you about pay, about all of these things, but then your classroom isn't organized. I'm looking at little Johnny, you don't have notes on little Johnny, so that when I do go to bat for you, I don't have anything to back me up. Once again, just like their parents, they slack in their performance as well when they are not happy. But that's not what you do. When you're not happy, when you need to prove a point, you show up and you show out. That way, when you go to stand on something, when you go to stand on business, your business is correct.
Yeah.
Now we are slacking in our business, but we want to be heard. And that's not how that works. They're not going to listen to us. Teachers got to show up and show out. And I'm not saying they aren't. We got to do a little bit harder. That's what happens when you are in the lion's mouth, is what I want to say. You just have to, you got to perform. You got to do what you got to do so that you're heard. So if you don't think teachers are doing right, we're going to show you that we're doing right. You don't think teachers know how to dress right? I'm going to show you that we know how to dress right. You don't think we know how to take the notes on little Johnny? We're going to take good notes. So now what's your excuse?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like this is the energy that is so necessary as we talk about educating our children in this season, right? We have to have this level of vigor. We have to have this level of like intentionality behind it. And I think that you're so intentional when you go into these classrooms to really remake them, redo them, because you kind of got inspired off a television show. And now you go in and help people redo their classrooms, right? How they set it up and have the classroom layout, all the different steps, right?
Yep, all of that. But first, I start with them, because if I don't help them be who they need to be, they'll never get the information that I'm telling them about their classroom. I start with the person first. Why do you feel like why do you feel like it's okay to show up this way? Why are you okay with your classroom looking like this? Tell me that before I help you with your classroom.
And what are you hearing? What are you finding out?
They're dealing with things at home. Some of them don't like what they see at home. I mean, in the mirror. Some of them are going through personal things, and it trickles over into work. It's another thing that I got to put in effort. I got to do this. And they're on my head. They're steady sitting down this. I got to do this. I got to do that. Meanwhile, I had crap before I even got to work.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not going to give you a pass for that. But I am going to take a moment to give you some coaching so that you understand that I care about you holistically. So yeah, I'm going to help you. And then I'm going to tell you not get to work because you that's what you said you was going to do.
Yeah.
Life ain't going to stop.
Life ain't gonna stop.
Life always going to be life. And I know I said that incorrectly. Life always going to be life.
Yeah, it really is.
It's always going to be. That's life. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to lay there and roll over? Or are you going to get up? Get up. It'll be all right. Now let's go get this classroom together.
Because this is really about accountability. Because as the founder and CEO of the Empowerment Agency, this is your vision of really, making people raise the standard, whether they're educators, parents, or directors of centers, right?
Yeah, raise the standard. Look past what you see right now. Look past that. Get your dream on your mind. I promise you, no matter what the situation is, even when I was homeless, my dream was on my mind. So when I got up every morning during this time, I shared that with Mr. Rashad, we're doing this time of the year I was homeless. So when I got up and it was cold, my dream was on my mind. I knew that if I just kept going, that it was going to change.
My dream was on my mind. That's something right there. Listen, that gets you.
Don't make me start crying.
Listen, my dream was on my mind. Yeah. Because to get out of homelessness, suicidal ideations, all of the things, right? The loneliness, the depression, you got to be constantly thinking about the dream, right?
You got to constantly think about a dream and constantly praying.
Yeah. So how has faith been the thing that has anchored you as you not only hold yourself accountable, but hold educators accountable around the country?
Faith is, I couldn't do it without faith. I couldn't. I wouldn't do it without faith. It is what keeps me. One thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about with entrepreneurship is the loneliness, right? And if I didn't have my faith, it would take me out.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the thing that you do on a daily basis that the gym? Yeah, well, we see honey's shoulders is giving, okay? It's giving fit. It's giving fit and fine. Yeah, okay? So the gym is one of the things. Yeah. That's the thing that kind of helps keep you sane.
Yes.
Yeah.
The gym. I have my dog. I listen. I like music, so I'm always listening to music. I also am very in tune with when I need a break. When I need a break, I will shut everybody out and take a break.
Yeah. Is that what you tell educators to do?
Yes.
To find a moment for themselves? Yeah.
Take your break. I tell them, hey, I know that when you put your notice in, they're probably going to deny it. So we're in December. Go ahead and look at January and choose a random day. Don't even have anything planned. Just choose a random day, put it in, and take that day for you. Cut it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that help with the balance of trying to balance the classroom and then the outside things?
Yes. They don't. If you look at, and once again, I do childcare, but if you look at a typical childcare center schedule, there isn't a break. They don't get summer break. They don't get fall break. They don't get winter break. They don't get a break at all. And then when they put in a time off request, it's denied. Oh, because somebody down the hallway is off that day. Oh, we can't have two people off at the same time, which is why the industry is suffering, because it's so business heavy, so children heavy, so parent heavy. But the people that get up every single day, they got to fight to be heard.
Yeah.
And they're tired of it. And then they don't make a lot of money.
Yeah. As much as childcare costs, listen.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Childcare does cost a lot of money. But you have to understand that most childcare centers are private entities. So that money, if you enroll your child, I enroll my child, yes, I'm paying $300 something. You may be paying $300 something a week off us. They got maybe right at $900 something. But that's payroll, that's mortgage, that's insurance. It's not like the school system where they get all of this funding.
Yeah.
During the pandemic they did, but they have to charge prices so that they can take care of everything. That is not just payroll. That's maintenance. That's everything. And they have to budget that with that money, all of that money that is coming in.
Yeah. So there was you did a video on TikTok and you stopped a woman. She was like at a Target or something, had her children in the car, and you asked her about childcare. And she said that she was too skeptical because one of her children was at a daycare, but the other one wasn't. And you asked her why. And she said, because she's not old enough to tell me if something happens. And so you were like, what's going to happen. So I want you to talk about, because there are plenty of people who have many reservations about putting their, child in an environment. I mean, we've seen all kind of things, fentanyl. I mean, access to fentanyl, all these things that have happened to children. What would you say to ease a parent's mind about sending their child into a...
All right, so this is why they book me. You get what you pay for, first of all. Okay. You get what you pay for.
I didn't know where we were going, but it's just...
You get what you pay for. I would evaluate those centers, right? I want to see the centers that those children were at. Were they reputable centers? Or were they a center that they opened at the right time for you? It didn't cost that much, so you were okay with it.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for. So when it comes down to that with childcare, I say find a good center. Find a center that don't just speak to, they open at 6 o'clock, I can make it to work, and they go stay there all day. Find a center that, I'm going to put them there because they feed them dinner. And no. Find a good quality childcare center. If you don't know how to find one of those, call me. No, don't call me. Email me. But
you have a list on your website of centers across the country.
I do.
That you have really verified.
They won't be on there if I haven't been to them.
Yeah.
But but they're going to cost you. They're going to cost you because they are doing the work. They take the time to look at employees. They have cameras. They have this, and also parents have to be realistic, right? When you take your child to a child care center, they're going to get sick. They're going to have an incident where they may get hit or bitten. It's no different if you take them to their cousin's house and things happen, right? You have to be realistic. But the things as far as where the children are getting hurt and being put in the hospital, you get what you pay for. When I see these centers on the news and the camera turn around and then I see the center, I say, well, why was she enrolled there? Like, what?
Baby, who basement did you drop that child off at? Listen. I mean, I was in somebody, back in the day, growing up in the 80s, I was at Miss Ann's house.
But Miss Ann didn't play.
Miss Ann didn't play.
I was at somebody's house one time in the past too, but they once again, they ran them as businesses.
Yeah.
They weren't just sitting there, baby. You had to do what you were supposed to do while you were at their house.
Yeah.
So you have to find a good child care center. People got to start looking at their children as investments.
Yeah. How so?
If you put them in the right school, you're hoping that investment that you're putting into them is going to pay off.
Yeah.
And that starts even at childcare age. When I worked at Creme de la Creme, that is an investment.
It definitely is.
But these children at the age of 2 are going to art class, STEM class, library class. It's an investment.
Yeah.
So now when they go to school, they have an idea. They already know how to govern themselves, what to do,
how to sit still for story time,
how to do all of these things, because it was instilled in them. Their parents invested in them at an early age. Sports, all of these things. Your children are an investment. They're not just an offspring for you to say, "Oh my God, I did it." No, they are an investment.
Yeah. Would you recommend people, as soon as a child is able to get into a reputable child care center?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because what happens is they keep them home and mommy babies them or grandma babies them. So then you have that baby that cries all day long because they want to be picked up, or they're not teaching them.
Yeah.
You see that baby, instead of them saying bottle or cereal, and because you know what it is, you go get it.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, no.
Use your words.
Say cereal.
Yeah.
Even if it's a baby, make them say, and then give it to them.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that at home.
Yeah.
That's your baby. You go, no, I got it. And it prolongs their process.
Because every moment is a teaching moment.
Every moment is a teaching moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so your job is to really tell the parents that they're teaching every moment of the day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every moment.
And parents have to understand that children don't stay children long.
Ty, I literally, my sister, I have a nephew that is 8 years old, and, she knew from the beginning that she's raising him to eventually be someone's husband, someone's father, a great man in the world. Mm-hmm. He is not going to be little BJ forever. Mm-hmm. And part of that comes with a high level of responsibility. And so most parents aren't, I won't say most, some parents are not really cognizant of how important every moment is.
Because they were in love.
Wait a minute, what?
That the child is the product of them being in love. So they're not prepared to do the investing. That is, oh, that's my my man, baby. Don't he look like his daddy? But
I did not expect this to go here. Did y'all? I was not. Did you? I didn't know this was.
well, that's the truth.
But it is.
It is.
That
They were in love.
They were in love, and so they just wanted to be in love. They weren't really ready to make the investment. Oh, that's interesting.
People don't think about, they call me the chocolate whisperer. People ask me all the time, do you want children? No. Because I know, let me say this, I don't want them alone. Because I know the investment.
Yeah.
I'm not that person that's just going to be, oh, here's your tablet. No.
Yeah.
We get ready to read. We get ready to write. I'm going to go to games. I'm going to do all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an investment. People don't think about that. They want to dress them up cute. They want to do this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, they don't know their colors. And they're happy they can sing the song, but can they identify them? Can they actually say it? I don't want to know the song. I want to hear it. I want you to point it out. I want you to go get it.
Yeah.
They're not ready to do the work. They just want to make them look good.
That is so good, right? Because, I mean, even when you think of culturally, right? Mm-hmm. Culturally, and I can't remember who we had on the show. I think this was Laurice Purnell, right? Laurice Purnell, he does finances. Mm-hmm. And he said that at the baby shower in our Black community, we getting Jordans, we getting them cute outfits. In
Before
other
they
communities,
even won.
Yeah. In other communities, they are positioning them with life insurance policies. They're positioning them with stocks or some sort of, they're building out what their life is going to look like. Mm-hmm. And we sometimes are focused on the aesthetics.
Let me tell you, people talk about my clients, and I'm okay with that. But it's something about being in the room with certain people. I was in the car coming back home after presenting, and one of the owners said, my daughter is in college, and I told her, you don't need to be paying rent. You need to go buy a duplex, and listen to what I'm telling you. I said she was in college. You need to go buy a duplex, stay on one side, rent the other side out. That way you can it's paying for itself. And now you have a property to start your portfolio. This is what she's telling her daughter that's in college.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an investment.
Yeah.
Now, is her daughter going to do it? Maybe not. But you know what your daughter is going to remember in her head?
The seeds planted, yeah. Yeah.
We don't look at the investment. It's all to be cute. It blows my mind the big birthday parties at one. Why? They would never remember it.
Oh, my goodness.
They would never remember it.
It's so ridiculous, right? I mean, I see it, and I'm just like, why? Who? This for y'all?
Exactly.
How we got this whole full bar? Now I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna participate.
I'm gonna participate.
But it's for the adults.
I'm gonna give me little man's cocktail. I'm gonna get little man's cocktail with the blue syrup in it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna drink it. You know what I'm saying?
But even that shows so they'll do that. But then they'll say childcare is expensive. The thing where you drop your child off, go to work, don't worry about them. Somebody is feeding them, taking care of them every day. You will blow the budget on a party, but you won't blow the budget on their education.
Oof. Yeah.
That's what I mean about the investment.
Yeah.
You'll get the Jordans that you know they're going to grow out of next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you complain about tuition.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I mean about the investment. We
have to shift priorities, right? And so how are you teaching parents as a childcare whisperer? And some people will be like, well, you don't have children, Mr. Ty. How you going to tell me about what I'm doing with my baby?
That's so amazing to me because I don't have children, but...
You pulled that mic up, baby. He said,
because when the childcare center opens at 6 o'clock, I don't have children, but 5:55, you know who be sitting outside waiting on me to come get their children? You know who leaves them with me for over 14 hours while they're at work doing God knows what, and we have to call them to come pick them up? Their children. And it's not just me that don't have children that's doing that. It's a lot of people that don't have children that's doing that. Yeah. So you want to know who actually needs to be checked? The parents. Because we're doing your job, and once again, we don't have children.
Yeah. You know what? You have given me so much peace about this because, oftentimes I say, it's okay, you was holding it. Baby, you had a lot to say. That moment, you was standing on business, baby. You need that mic. You need to stand firm on that mic, so I understand.
Because I'm tired of the disrespect when it comes down to the industry, right? You birth a child, and that comes... Think about all of that. You need childcare. You need diapers. You need wipes. All of that is a part of that. And while you're happy and enjoying that moment, there's a responsibility that comes with that. Yeah. And childcare is that. What you want it to be free? It's 2024.
Yeah. I mean, it's so real because as a person who is child free, I'm not married and I'm child free. Sometimes you don't want to insert yourself in certain conversations because you're like, well, I'm not married and I don't have children. Now I've had plenty of great relationships. Yeah, I know relationship, baby. Okay. And I have been in the classroom with your child. That's probably why I don't have them. Okay. Okay. I done ran all these mentoring programs, baby.
Listen.
It's enough. Listen.
I tell people all the time, I've raised a lot of children. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been to the schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes it is hard as people who have been in classrooms and who have really been doing the Lord's work when you kind of get that pushback of like, well, you can't say anything because you don't have children. Well, wait a minute now. I've spent quite a number of hours of my day.
This is since I've been 11 years old.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't have to have children.
yeah,
And I'm talking about from helping with foster children to teaching. Like, you don't have to have children to be a good parent. That's not so.
yeah.
The problem is people say that because it's an attack on what they're doing.
Ooh,
So therefore, it's like, you don't have children. Oh, no. No, take some accountability and just go check what we just told you about.
yeah.
Yeah.
The investment. So for our listeners who are watching right now and they are in the market for a childcare provider, what are some things that they need to be looking for? Some things that need to be on their checklist, and then also, what is a healthy price to pay?
I think it depends on the area. So
Yeah.
It really just depends on the area. But when you're looking for a childcare center, first, most important thing is you need to look for safety, right? You need to make sure they have cameras. I'm not going to tell you to look for a childcare center where you can look at the camera from your phone because there are a lot of cons to that people don't think about. But they need cameras. Right? You need to check on the atmosphere when you walk in. When you walk in, how's the teacher speaking to you? How's the director greeting you? You really need to look for the customer service experience when you walk into a childcare center. And then look at the curriculum, right? No, it's not. They may not be teaching it all the way, but you need to know that they have a curriculum that they are at least they are guiding the children with, right? What are the extracurricular activities that they offer? Because once again, it's an investment. So you need to look at what are they going to do for your child holistically, not just drop them off, get a meal, and you can pick them back up.
Yeah.
What can you do for my child? How can you better my child at this age?
Yeah, yeah. How can you better my child holistically, right? And I think that some people aren't really thinking about that, right? Because they're like, look, Ty, I got a million things going on in my life. I'm barely getting by. I barely can make these ends meet. I can't be thinking, I just need somebody to take over for 8-12 hours. What would you tell that person?
I would tell them that you gotta stop and realize what you're showing your child. What you're showing your child and what you are telling yourself is that when life get hard, I can slack. And that's not it. That's not the permission you can give yourself. When life get hard, you go harder. So if you have all of those things in your face, that's when you say, oh, I'm going to figure out a way to do this.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're showing yourself and your child? That no matter what comes, no matter what goes, you can do it. Don't let this or that stop you. Those are excuses. Excuses are tools of the incompetent.
Yeah.
So you got to do it. Do it.
Yeah. You got to do it.
You got to do it.
Holistically, what do you tell educators to safeguard themselves? Because they're being confronted with parents on a daily basis who have all these other pressures, all these other things that are driving them, and then they have to be professional and drive a curriculum and love on your child and implement a curriculum and guide. How do you tell educators to holistically, safeguard themselves?
That's why I start speaking to them, addressing the problems that they have. But I also tell them that I know that parent is going to be angry. I know she's going to give you an attitude. She's not going to speak in the morning. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. You can irritate somebody so much with your niceness
Yeah.
that they're going to start doing
Yeah.
it. Hey.
Kill them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it, no matter what. And I teach them to build professional relationships with the parents. That means you don't need to know where she got her hair done, where she got her nails done at. You don't need to do that because that's when you can tank that relationship. Build professional relationships. Continue being you. No matter how we pull up the Chick-fil-A, they still got to say, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Continue being you. Don't let anybody. My good auntie, Miss Tabitha Brown says it the best. If you having a day, don't you dare go mess up nobody else.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Don't let nobody mess up your day.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody mess up your day. Keep being you. Keep shining. Keep doing what you do. They'll come around.
So really establishing boundaries. Like you have to set clear boundaries as the educator in your classroom.
I talk about that all the time when I'm presenting. Set the boundaries with the children, the parents, and the boss. No, I'm not staying over. I don't stay over late on Tuesdays. You only have to do what your schedule says. So you can say no.
Yeah.
Because you really only have to do whatever that time was you said you were gonna do the work. Set the boundaries with the children. Hey, no, when you come in, go have a seat. We'll hug at a certain time. Set the boundaries with your husband. I'm not cooking on Fridays. So what you gonna do? I don't know. I wish you well. But you have to set the boundaries in your life, because if not, you'll find yourself just doing what everybody else wants you to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I mean, you have covered so much, because I don't think that oftentimes, teachers get such a bad rap. Educators get a bad rap. Well, they're not doing their job. They're not, you see all the little viral videos all over TikTok and all over Instagram and all the things of the educators being human, right? But I also think that you are giving people the permission to show up as their best selves, create and set boundaries, live in ways that people don't know what's going on in your personal life. And so I think that that's really, really powerful, because I don't think that a lot of times educators are even seen as, the superheroes that they really are.
And I think that in addition to God, being God and doing what he did in the business, I think that is the major thing. I think that's what the dream was about. I'm the director, but help. Because people show up differently when they know that they're valued. And in our industry, I'll say it again, I can only speak about the industry that I know. In our industry, they're missing that value. They are missing showing the teachers the value that they bring to the business every day. You don't have a business if you don't have teachers.
Yeah.
You can enroll Johnny all day long. You can have full to capacity. But if you don't have a teacher to teach them, and they forget that. I'm not saying give them a pass. No, because I believe in accountability. But we have to make sure that we speak to the inner person that shows up. Because the person that you see in the morning, that's just a shell.
Yeah.
We got to speak to what they were going through before they got there and empower them. That's why in the centers and when I worked there, when I would sit at the front desk every morning, hey, how are you? Even if I was sick. Even if I didn't feel good, because you can shift the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, you look good today.
Yeah.
Dad, you casket sharp. Now, I ain't never seen you look that good.
Yeah.
Or if they come in and they're not dressed right, so you don't have to go to work. Johnny, they brought you off to work. They ain't even going to work today. Everybody has a good day. That teacher, can't nobody do a bulletin board better than you.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And you don't have that in the childcare centers. It's Johnny this. Did you do that? This the report this. This is and it has to change.
Yeah.
It has to be a balance.
It has to be a balance. One word you are committed to in the season of your life.
Peace.
Why?
Because I've lived trying to make sure that everybody else had it. And I neglected me. So this is my season of peace.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want educators to know about their journey ahead?
Oh, that it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Parents are going to get on board. You're going to get the support that you need. It's going to get better. But better first starts with you.
Yeah.
Better doesn't start when people come in and then you start getting better. Better starts with you. But it's going to get better.
Better starts with you, but it's going to get better. Ty, I just love your spirit. I really do. I really do. I mean, I wanted you here because I think that this conversation is so important, right? Because I think in this climate in our country, we kind of neglect and negate the power of what educators, they shape our lives.
Nobody can do anything that they've done if somebody didn't teach them how to do it.
I mean.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be taught. You could be an engineer, somebody taught you how to do it. You could be a pilot, somebody taught you how to do it. Everybody was taught what they do.
Yeah.
But it's the job that is minimized. And in a way, I get it because you have to have a certain level of passion to teach.
Yeah.
So I get it, but also passion doesn't pay bills.
Yeah.
So it's a battle I feel is always going to be there. That's why I teach also when I'm training that educators, you need to have another source of income. If teaching is really what you want to do, then you got to also have another avenue. And this is coming from somebody who didn't have it. And I'm telling you this now.
Yeah.
If it's your passion, find another way to do it. Maybe that's tutoring on the side. Maybe it's something, if that is your passion. Because you aren't always going to make the money that you want.
Yeah. Yeah. You are not going to always make the money you want. One word that you would give your 2016 self.
I would give my 2016 self press. Keep pressing.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
It is not over. Tyheim Clark, you are just such a gem. I am just so excited for how life unfolds for you on this journey of educating not only children, but educators and parents and directors and people who are in the childcare space. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Vault Empowers Talks, another good one for the books. Send this to an educator you know needs a little inspiration, who needs to keep pressing forward in this season of their life. Peace is on the way. Okay? It's on the way. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to comment. But be sure to share this with somebody. Until next time, I'm your girl, Brandi Harvey. Eat well. Give a damn. Move your body every single day. Peace.